Hey YouTube, how's it going? Venomman20 here today, and today I'm going to show you a reptile I would literally give my right arm for. So anyway, if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know I have a thing for elapids. I love beautiful snakes, fast snakes, and I'm very interested in everything elapid. But there's a couple snakes that I really can't get my hands on, and those are mainly from Australia. So today, I'm going to introduce you to the snake that I would literally kill for. I absolutely love them. They're just so beautiful and so interesting to me. That is the red-bellied black snake. And since I don't have one, I'm going to introduce you to Nick from Wicked Wildlife, one of my good friends, an Australian mate. So let him take it away.
Thanks Venom Man, and g'day everybody out there on YouTube. Now I can see why this guy here is something that you'd be jealous of. This is the Australian red-bellied black snake, and even though that we guys in Australia might take these for granted, they still have to be one of my most favourite snakes in the country. They're found all over the east coast, basically following up the east side of the Great Divide, and they actually head westwards along some waterways up to South Australia. Along that whole distribution, like I said, waterways is really attached to them. They're very rare to find them more than a couple of 100 metres away from any permanent water, whether it's rivers, creeks, farm dams and the like. Now as far as food goes, while they are a generalist and the big guys will eat mammals, rats, mice, other snakes, brown snakes, other red-bellied blacks, as youngins and even so as adults, they really have an affinity for frogs. They absolutely love eating frogs. And this has actually been a problem for the red-belly. You see, up in northern Australia, 150 some years ago, somebody decided to bring this poisonous toad to the country. And the cane toad, that would be. And unfortunately, you can imagine for a frog-eating snake, this poisonous toad has been a really big issue for these guys. For a long, long time, a single bite to a toad has been enough to kill a fully grown red-bellied black snake and many other frog-eating species. Now, since the arrival of cane toads, there's actually been a really cool sort of discovery that in certain areas where toads were first released and the black snakes have had the longest time to adapt, the black snakes in the area have actually been found to increase their body size from 10 to 15% and actually keep their heads at the same size. Now this change in ratio between their head and their body basically means they've got a big body and a little head, so they're now only able to eat quite a small toad. Now the theory is that because they're only eating a small toad, this is a sub-lethal dose, and they feel crook. They're able to realise that this isn't something that I want to eat again, and they hopefully leave it alone. So evolution's happening in only a couple of 100 years. It's pretty cool. Another interesting fact about these guys is that a fairly famous Australian herpetologist called Eric Worrell studied these guys reasonably intensively and basically came to the opinion that these guys diverged away from the rest of the black snake family fairly early on in their evolutionary history. Things like the king brown or mulga, the spotted black, the collet's black and the like. And that's because I have a few features that sort of sets them apart from all those other black snakes. Is all black snakes in Australia lay eggs. The king brown or mulga, who's actually a black snake, the spotted black, the collet's black. However, this guy, the red belly, actually gives birth to live young. And it's this feature, live birth, that has enabled it to actually colonise country far further south than any of the other black snakes. The advantage of this live bearing is if you lay eggs, you require that spot to stay fairly warm and fairly dry for 60 plus days. By giving birth to live young, you're essentially carrying that young inside you from warm place to warm place as that snake thermoregulates. And it means that these guys are actually able to have babies and survive and breed in far cooler climates, all the way down to here in southern Victoria, whereas no other black snake's able to live this far south. So as far as venom and toxicity and bites and the like goes, since 2005 this species has accounted for about 16% of hospital admissions due to snake bite. Now, their venom is a concoction of neurotoxins, mycotoxins and some coagulants, and as far as I can find, there's never actually been a death from one of these guys. However, they do have some strange side effects. I personally know of a bloke who was bitten and he lost all sense of touch in his fingertips for quite a while. Anosmia, which is you lost a sense of smell after a bite, is another reasonably common side effect. So certainly a strange snake and not something you want to be bitten by. They're considered medically significant, but very, very rarely ever a fatal bite. Another interesting snake bite fact about this guy is scientists and doctors have actually discovered that a bite from one of these guys is actually better off treated with tiger snake antivenin than traditional black snake antivenin. And this is another one of the facts that Eric Worrell used to basically support the fact that these guys pushed away from black snakes fairly early on in their history. Now, the reason that doctors use this tiger snake antivenin is they've discovered you basically need less of it than if they were treating you with traditional black snake antivenom. And because of this, it means it makes more financial sense, it's cheaper, and also because you're requiring less drugs in your system, there's far less chance of some of the serious side effects. So all things considered, I think this guy's a pretty spectacular snake, and I can certainly see why you guys over there would be a little bit jealous of how accessible they are to us. I can only hope that the few that are over there might one day become more accessible to the dedicated elapid keeper, because this species is an absolute gem, both in its natural environment and to deal with. Anyway guys, thanks for listening. I'll pass you back on to Venom Man. Have a good one and take care.
So hopefully you enjoyed that and you learned a little something about that Aussie elapid. They're absolutely wonderful. Make sure that you go subscribe to Nick's channel from Wicked Wildlife. I got a link down inside the description, so it's real easy to do. Just go down there, go to his channel, subscribe, because he helped me out a lot on this. Without him, I would have never been able to show you that snake. Plus, he does some amazing videos with all the Australian wildlife that I can't come within 100 feet of. So hopefully one day I'll be able to go over there. We'll do a collaboration. It's kind of like this, but in real life. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button on my channel and the bell notification so you never miss a video. I'm trying to hit 20,000 by the end of the year, and I'm getting close. So hopefully you guys can help me out with that. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Make sure you check back next week for a new video.